or we had started playing out of town.
You guys went to practice like 3, 4, 5 times a week.
So wait, you ended up getting Colin, and then who else came into the band? There was another drummer too, right? There was Billy Fox, right?
Billy Fox at the end, yes.
And was Billy Fox doing some gigs with you guys? Did he play Philly with you guys?
He played also CB's in New York.
Oh, okay, right, the CBGB's
I
gig.
don't think we made it past CB's heading north. We played as far south as Richmond. I don't remember. We also had really crappy cars.
Right.
We didn't have a van. John had
we played
a big old
Richmond with
station
Honor
wagon.
Roll when Penn was still a teenager.
That's correct.
Now,
And,
did,
and GI.
Was
It
Scythian-
GI, Honor Roll, Malefice,
We
and
also
Richmond.
played with Corrosion Conformity a few times.
Mhm.
We did like mini tours with them where we'd go from Richmond, DC, and then play again in Baltimore and Philly.
no North Carolina gigs? Kakalaki?
Tim was
no,
still in
it's
high
too
school.
far.
Now,
Yeah,
d-
Tim was still in high school.
Right on.
15.
We had cars that got 9 miles to the gallon. We couldn't afford 35-cent or dollar gas or whatever it was, and the cars were, breaking down all the time. It was difficult to get to gigs.
Now, was Scythian going at the same time towards the end of Malefice, or no, that happened afterwards?
No, what happened is John got pissed at me because I stopped going to practice
Right.
because there were girls involved
Right.
elsewhere,
Right.
and at practice there were no girls. So
You went where the
he
girls
got
went.
pissed, fired me, and around that time the band broke up. But I instantly started Scythian up like practically the same week. So for a while, John was even playing with Scythian.
Gotcha.
And that was with Eric Walgren on drums, Matt Ray on guitar. I was still playing bass.
And Eric auditioned once for Malefice. You guys had one practice with Eric.
I seem to remember Eric showing up at one point, and Brian Baker also asked about playing with us once too, at one of those Sanctuary Hall shows, which would have been interesting because I mean at the time he could play and he owned a Marshall, which was another thing John never had. John always had like really terrible PV practice amps, and he had to borrow whatever.
Didn't he use my brother's Carvin at the Reston Battle Band? He might have used his
He
Carvin at that
almost
show.
assuredly.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
yes.
I remember the picture. I've got pictures.
He-
Oh, no
I don't
way.
think
Playing
he's
the
ever
Carvin.
owned a decent guitar amp. I wound up buying a decent enough bass amp, and but too silly.
Oh, the
big,
acoustic.
but,
The refrigerator.
No, it was PV.
No, you had the refrigerator, the acoustic.
Cabinet, right?
Big cabinet.
415, right. Which was,
So, what sort of accolades did you guys get? Anything during the time that you were in the band, or afterwards? From like, did Lars Ulrich send you an email or anything?
we sold a zillion shirts, and
Was
I'm
it a shirt
still
band?
surprised that I don't see any. Because at the time I was getting T-shirts made, and I'd sell as many of them as I could bring to a show. $150 worth of shirts snap in 5 or 10 minutes every single time. We sold way more of those than any 7 inches.
Gotcha.
Was that John's artwork on him?
Yeah, with a sort of thrashing
The
dude,
symbol.
Malefice logo, and then on the back
the
there was
symbol
a,
with
the symbol on the
Yeah.
back.
So, 25 years later, you guys are playing these songs again. How physically demanding would you say it is, or is it
For
kind
him,
of
yeah. For me, not really, because I play bluegrass. It's not far from.
now you've been doing some like metal and stuff like in the past couple of years, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, over a couple of years. I played in a technical death metal band. It was a lot of fun. Actually, I bumped into one guy in the audience,
Right.
and I told him I played in Malefice. He's like, "No way, man! That's like my favorite band, man! Oh my God, they rule!" And I was like, "Holy crap, dude, you played in Malefice?"
Did you mean the English band or us?
Us. And I was like, "Yeah, man." And it's like I found a fanatic fan. It was actually cool.
Davis, how about you? Do you run into people that know about Malefice ever?
Occasionally, but mostly when I describe it to them, and they look at me, they're shocked that I would be in a band like that. But so I have to whip out the record and like, see, there I am. It's
So dream scenario, Malefice would do some gigs again. John Cobbett would be like, "Yeah, I'm moving back to Northern Virginia." Would people latch onto it because of
He wouldn't
Cobbett?
go. He wouldn't
but
come.
just say he would. I mean, dream scenario. He gets a
scenario.
job at the movie theater
Dream
in
scenario, he
Merrifield.
flies to the East Coast.
Yeah.
He's an SF boy. He's going to live there for the rest until the day he dies.
What do you think? There's a interest in what John Cobbett's doing just because of the whole Hammers of Misfortune thing?
I don't know. John's in 2 bands at once.
And Sloth Fay or something like that. I think he was playing for.
Slothag.
Yeah.
He and the guitar player Mike, they switch off whose band it is. They both support each other's band, and then they, whoever's band it is gets to write all the songs and play all the meatiest leads. But believe me, I mean, it's stuff that sounds like Iron Maiden.
But they
It's
love him in Europe.
Incredibly intricate leads and double leads and all that stuff.
But he's got fans in California, and they love him in Europe.
They tour Europe, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, anything he does basically would be like pretty much the ticket. Like it'd be like having Bruce Dickinson join your band. You'd be like, okay, well, Bruce, yeah, I'm gonna go see him. Bruce
suppose.
Dickinson's playing tonight. So.
I don't know anything about the metal scene on the East Coast. I don't know anything about it.
Jack's.
Jack's.
I live 2 miles from Jack's.
Okay.
So if John flies out, you guys will do a gig with him, I assume, right?
At Jack's.
Or in Fredericksburg.
No,
You guys
9:30
just
Club.
do
would
it.
give us a
9:30
show.
Club.
They'd give
Yeah,
us a
9:30
show.
Club.
All right, John Cobbett, come on back. You got one gig at the 9:30 Club and tour opening up for Samson, Saxon, and Diamond Head if you want to go to England.
Probably put UM and MFD on the bill and maybe
And
one or
UM and
two
MFD.
others.
Everybody will walk with $20, and there's water. Club's going to give you water on your rider and green M&Ms.
Malefice would always spend the money we made at
Pizza
at,
places
at,
and
at Pancake House.
yeah, and
At Mrs. Somebody's Pancake House coming back from Richmond. We would spend exactly what we made at the gig at the Pancake
35
House.
to 50 bucks.
Yeah.
And we'd spend it all on either that or it was at diners eating really crappy food, you know, cheeseburgers and stuff.
Awesome. That's a wrap, man.
I love it.
That's a wrap. You guys are going to get pancakes in 2010. It's coming.